All right, it's that time again. This is Ask a Clutter Boss, our weekly decluttering advice show. Oh, we have Crafter5850 already here with a question. I love this. I love this. Welcome to our show. We go live weekly with a lot of Q&A. So we have questions that have been submitted. You can always pop your questions into the comments, and we are talking all things decluttering and home organization. I am Jess Marcy from Clutter Boss. Thank you for being here. Okay, let's dive into our questions. Crafter5850, I see your question here. Any solutions for yarn storage in a basement? If you can provide any more context with that question, that would be super helpful. How do you have it stored right now? Is it a finished basement? How much yarn are we talking about? Do you have a business? Anything you can add in, please do. Good morning, Linda and Denise. Hello, hello. Okay. Question number one. I love this question. You guys, I love your questions. Kesey, hi. Why does it seem to get worse sometimes? Why does it seem to get worse sometimes? Okay, this is a great question. Here's the thing with home organization. It is going to get worse before it gets better. It is going to get worse before it gets better. We call this temporary chaos. Why does it get worse before it gets better? Because when you have clutter, you have two things going on. Number one, you have more stuff than fits into your space. So you have more things than available storage. The volume of stuff is more than what you can store. So the solution that we're always sold is to go buy bins, go buy plastic drawers, go buy more storage. That's an incorrect solution. It is, you have been being lied to for years and years and years. And believe me, I fell for it also at the beginning of my decluttering journey. You cannot buy storage your way out of this problem. What you need to do is declutter until you're living within the storage space that you have, which is usually a lot of decluttering that you need to do. It's a big percentage of what you own actually will fit comfortably into the storage that you have. So that's just ripping the Band-Aid off and understanding I need to get rid of a lot. That's problem number one. You have a ton of stuff. So compared to the space that you have, right? So this is not like a critical statement. You know, we are totally judgment free here. But you have more stuff than fits into your space. That's it. That's just the reality of having clutter. So because you have more stuff than fits into your space, when you're decluttering, you're taking stuff out of storage and adding it to your visible space. So it feels worse. But on top of that, problem number two is most likely your collections of items are commingled. So you're going to pull out a bin of stuff and it's going to be random things thrown together. You're going to open up a drawer and it's going to have a lot of different subcategories in it. You're going to look at your counter in your kitchen. I mean, actually, right now, wherever you are, look at the nearest flat surface. What different types of things are on that surface? Do you have items that go in the kitchen, items that go in the bathroom, items that go in your car, items that go in your husband's desk, items that go in your kid's backpack? It's a commingled collection everywhere. So as you go through this process of decluttering and organizing, number one, you have to declutter first because you can't be organized if you have more stuff than fits in your space. As you go through this process, you're taking out a commingled collection, you're adding it to a cluttered surface, and you're trying to sort out everything that is there into correct categories. Because now you know to be properly organized, not only do you need the space, but you need all like items living together, which means you have to find all these like items all over the place, bring them together. And it's just temporary chaos. It's temporary chaos. It's chaos, but it's temporary. The only way to get to the other side of this is to keep pushing forward. You have to go through everything that you own, decide what is going to keep. Be ruthless with yourself. Find good storage for it and put it away. This is not overnight. I know on television, we are taught or shown that this is an overnight process. You can do this quickly. You really just can't. You can't. The average American home has 300,000 items in it. You have to be completely, fully, totally done and organized, go through all of those items, 300,000 of them. There is no way you can do that quickly. Even if you're going through a small percentage of those items, it's going to take time. But that's okay, because this time is a learning process. You are learning what is relevant to your life today, what is supporting your life today, and what is just clutter. Clutter is anything that is standing in the way of you moving forward. What is just clutter? When you start to realize the stuff that you have that is standing in the way of you moving forward, you begin to grow and change in unexpected and beautiful ways. That's why this process is so worth it. It's not just about the stuff. It's never just about the stuff. It is about this journey that you are on, which is why it's an amazing, beautiful, transformative journey, but it's also painful at times because growth is painful. But that's why it gets worse before it gets better. Don't give up. Don't give up. Do not give up on yourself. This process is so, so, so worth it. Clutter Boss has been in business and on the online platform for almost 5 years. February of 2025 will be our 5-year anniversary. We call them the OGs. We have the original Clutter Bosses who started working with us almost 5 years ago. Their lives are so different now, but it's taken years. It has taken years of consistent effort, not every day, but always coming back to what's my next step? How am I going to move forward? Yes, I'm going to go on vacation. Yes, life is going to happen. Yes, I'm going to take a break from decluttering, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to keep pushing forward. And life changes. Life changes. Stick with this. Stick with this. It is so, so, so worth it. But that is why it gets worse sometimes. Okay. Thank you so much for submitting that question. The next question, I have not read these yet because I've had a very, very insane morning. So bear with me. It's a kind of long question. I'm going to read the whole thing and then we are going to solve this together. I have downsized from a 6,000 square foot home where I lived for 34 years. The remaining contents are stored in two 200 square foot storage units. 90% of what is left, antique furniture, china, crystal, clothing, sterling silver, my children don't want. I'm paying $440 per month to store in climate controlled units. I now live 7 hours away. What would be the best way to declutter, empty, and sell the remains of my belongings? I can't have a public sale on site. Okay, this is a really good question. And there's a lot of insight to be drawn from this question. Our children don't want most of our stuff. That's a cold, hard decluttering truth. And think about it. Our children are growing up in a world of excess, a world of excess. They have everything that they need at their fingertips and it's all trendy. They're being sold to constantly. It's just different than the world that we grew up in. And that is okay. That is okay. It's not our fault. It is no one's fault. And we can't blame them for not wanting our stuff because they were not raised in the same world that we were raised in. So just really embracing this cold hard truth, your kids probably don't want most of what you have. It's not a reflection of your relationship with them. It's not a reflection of how they feel about their childhood. It's simply a reflection of the world that they're living in and the overwhelming amount of stuff that they have to deal with every single day that we never had to deal with. So just number one, that's a really important thing to keep in mind. You're spending a lot of money right now on storing your stuff in a climate controlled facility. And I want to say when it comes to storage units, this is a little side note, we really want to make sure that we understand what we're getting ourselves into when we purchase or rent a storage unit. If it's not climate controlled, then there's a good chance your stuff, fabric stuff, is going to get destroyed because just think about that. Aluminum or steel and aluminum on concrete is like a breeding ground for moisture. And when you have moisture, you have mold. Storage units are also not rodent controlled. So oftentimes there's mice in there and there's bugs in there. So when you choose to put your stuff into a storage unit, just know what you're getting yourself into. Oftentimes your homeowner's insurance does not cover damages in storage units. So check with that before you rent a storage unit. If you're going to use a storage unit, it's a great temporary tool. Temporary. You don't want to get into the situation where you're using your storage unit for the next 10 years because it's so expensive, and the longer you have it, the more it costs and the more of an emotional and financial drain it becomes. So for a temporary amount of time, if you're moving or something like that, it makes sense, but put a timeline on it, put a budget on it. I would say in this case, you live very far away from where the storage unit is. So I would contact an estate company near where you live, I'm sorry, near where your storage unit is. And I would get some advice from them about the best way to move forward. You're definitely not the first person to be in this position. And maybe they have a solution for you where they can remove the stuff and sell it for you. It seems like if you have antique furniture, china, crystal, clothing, sterling silver, that's stuff for estate sales. So an estate company can assist you. Other than that, if you have other family that lives nearby, I would maybe set aside a weekend, go back and get your troop of people together who are going to help you, your children, other family members, move that stuff out of that storage unit, have a sale, and whatever doesn't sell, bring it to a donation center. You could also possibly, if you're not interested in selling the stuff, which I am a big fan of just quickly moving things out, unless there is something that is truly, truly valuable in there, that would be different. But you can always try and see if you can get a donation pickup there. So even if it's 2 storage units, they can send 2 trucks. If you go to donationtown.org, if you're just interested in just letting it go, and I mean, because right now there's an expense to hanging on to this. So even if you choose to have a sale, are you going to make, how much money are you going to make on that sale? Is it going to make sense to continue to rent this for a few more months just to have a sale, or do logistically sell all of that stuff? I would try and figure out the fastest way possible to let it go so you are not incurring more expenses. I hope that makes sense. It's a great question, though, and good food for thought with storage units, kids wanting stuff, all of those things. So if you do end up finding a solution using a donation center, having an estate sale, having your family come together and help you move the stuff out and selling it at somebody's house, or whatever solution you come up with, let us know what has worked for you, because it's different everywhere. So we love to hear your stories. And actually, on that note, if you're watching us live on YouTube right now and you've had success decluttering, I would love to hear about it in the comments. If you're not subscribed to our channel yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. As a small business based on the internet, that really, really helps us out. And thank you for that. Okay, question number 3. I am so buried in clutter, I can't see any progress doing a small bit at a time. I work and have multiple special needs dogs that take up a great deal of my time, but I'm desperate to get free of all of this clutter. Okay. If you are desperate to get free of all of this clutter, you need to make decluttering a priority in your life. There is no other way around this. You have to put in the time. So I understand that you work, you have multiple special needs dogs. What other things can kind of give? Where can you find that time that you need? I mean, I guess there's a couple of ways you could do this, but the only way forward is to go through all of your stuff. And if you can't see any progress doing small bits at a time, you just have to know that as long as you have nothing new coming in, right? So there's 2 sides to decluttering. Stop the flow in. Nothing comes into your house. Increase the flow out. Mathematically, if you do this, this equation works. Stop the flow in, increase the flow out. If you have stuff coming into your house while you are trying to declutter, you're never going to see any progress because the amount that is in your house is going to remain the same or grow. You need to increase, you need to have more going out than coming in. So you can do this that way. You can stop the flow in, increase the flow out, do a little bit over time, knowing that eventually there will be a change and you will be able to see it. And it might take a couple of months, it might take a year, but if you are consistent and ruthless with stopping the flow in, increasing the flow out, you will get to that point. Now, you could also hire help. You could hire a professional organizer to come in and help you declutter. You could hire like a clean out place if you have a garage or a kind of a bigger storage area that you are okay with other people going through and just cleaning out. You could do that. That's your choice. If you hire a professional organizer, interview them, get personal references. You don't want somebody who's going to bully you. You don't want somebody who's going to force you to let go of stuff. You don't want somebody who doesn't understand the emotional side of decluttering. So make sure you have the right person come in. But those, as far as I can tell, are your two main choices. Denise is offering a strategy here that has worked for many of our clutter bosses. Denise, an OG. Touch and tackle. Yes, just reach out your hand on a pile of stuff and do something with it. Even if you don't have a lot of time, you can get through stuff every single week if you prioritize decluttering in your schedule. Okay, hello to everybody who has just joined us. Let's see. Question number 4. I am still overwhelmed by clutter in my floor space. What do I do? Thank you for this question. I think we've kind of touched on this in our previous answers today, but if you have clutter in your floor space, the only solution is to declutter more stuff. That is it. I am sorry about the cold hard truth. I am sorry that nobody else tells you this. There is no other way to have empty floor space than to get rid of the stuff that is on the floor. If it is if you're hanging on to it because you paid for it or you've had it for a long time, it's your mental health versus the stuff. It really is. Every time you look at that, how do you feel? Actually, right now, look at a pile of clutter. Is it making you feel good or bad? If it is making you feel bad, it is impacting your mental health. And as we said yesterday on our Monday morning motivation, if something is costing you your mental health, it's too damn expensive to hang on to. Let it go. Let it go. It is okay to let go of the stuff that is weighing you down. You deserve to live in a home that you love. You deserve to walk into your house and feel peace and feel relief and to not feel anxiety and stress. Stress kills us. Stress kills us. If you have stuff on the floor and you are overwhelmed by it, it's causing you stress. That is impacting your mental health and your physical health. You're more important than the stuff. Every single time. It doesn't matter how much you paid for that stuff. It doesn't matter how long you've had it. You are more important than that stuff. You can let it go. Nothing bad is going to happen to you if you let it go. You can give yourself the space to breathe, the space to relax, the space to unwind. You can give yourself the experience of living in a stress-free environment if you just let go of the stuff. You deserve it. You deserve to let go of the stuff. You deserve to have that peace and that space. And if you don't believe that you deserve to have a home that you love, we need to fake it till we make it. You need to pretend that you believe it and make it a reality because it is the truth. You do deserve to have a home that you love, regardless of what you've been taught or how you were raised or whatever mindsets you have brought forward with you into your adult life. You deserve to have a home that you love. You deserve to have peace at home. And if you have to let go of the stuff to do that, that is okay. I give you permission. All right. We have one more question that came in the comments. Okay, any solutions for yarn storage in a basement? And I asked for further information. So I knit for craft shows. My husband puts the yarn in huge tubs that I cannot handle. I'm willing to declutter one bin. Okay. Here's the thing. If you're knitting for yarn shows, is this a hobby or is this a business? And this can be a kind of tricky gray area. But a lot of times we sell some of our craft stuff to sort of justify what we're doing or because we genuinely enjoy it. But you have to decide, is this a hobby or is this a business? If it's a hobby, then it deserves X amount of space in your life like other hobbies do. If it's a business, then we need to create an infrastructure for this business to grow, which is a whole other kind of situation. So just Crafty 5850, it's a business. Okay. If this is your business, then you need to give it the time and space that it deserves as a business. You need to purchase infrastructure for if you're running your business out of your basement and your business has stuff associated with it, you need proper storage because it's a business. So that's a business expense to build out this space. If you're not at that point with your business yet, then I would say carry the smallest amount of inventory that will maximize your profits, and then take those profits, a portion of them, and invest them in the infrastructure that you need to scale your business and grow. We so often get into this trap of having a business and a hobby, and we don't invest in the business. We say it's a business, we want it to be a business, but we don't actually invest in what we need to make the business grow. And if you're carrying inventory and supplies, you really need storage that's going to work for your business. Otherwise, your business is never going to grow. So I would just get really clear on where that line is for you personally, what that looks like, what you need, and then how is your business profitable? How can you make your business profitable with what you have to work with right now? And then, okay, awesome. You have some cash saved. Yes. So if you want to scale your business, give yourself the space to make that happen. Give yourself the business room office in your house, or rent an office and make it invest in this business with all the right stuff that you need. And I'm not saying overspend, but really think about this as a business investment and not an argument about space or about stuff or about infrastructure. It's your business. You have some money saved to invest in this business. Make it work for you. Make it work for you. And thank you for being here to ask this question. We're at 22 minutes, so I aim for around 20 minutes. But these have been a great set of questions today. Thank you so much for being here. Tune in next week, every week, Tuesdays at 11:30, Ask a Clutter Boss. And from my small business to you, please like, comment, share, subscribe to our channel. It is what keeps this content free. There are many people out there who could never afford to hire a professional organizer, and this information should not be just for people who can afford to pay for it. So liking, subscribing, and sharing is what keeps this content free for the public and helps our small business grow. And it's deeply appreciated by me and everybody here at Clutter Boss. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next week. Bye, everyone.